Hi class, Mr. Stemple here with your weekly IED assignment. So today's assignment we're going to talk about technology and how it's changed over the past few years. So as an overview, what I want you to do is to think about how technology has changed. We all know that technology is changing all the time, and sometimes we see it in the big things like computers and television sets, et cetera, but sometimes we miss it if we're talking about some of the smaller items or some of the things that you don't think about as often. So sometimes even things that we take for granted. So for instance, things like the stapler has gone through some technological changes recently. There's been some additions and some things have changed. Certainly memory sticks have gone through quite a bit of technological change recently. Could be anything like this mouse or whatever. There's a lot of things that we might take for granted around our house that have gone through technological changes recently. So as an example, and the example that you may or may not have downloaded from Canvas yet, I have my example up on Canvas. Feel free to download it. The example I use is my tea kettle, which you saw on my Rube Goldberg machine. This is not a new invention. In fact, it's a much older invention than I even thought. Of course, people have been boiling water in pots for thousands of years. But the first electric tea kettle was invented in 1891, which is a long time ago. I thought it was a much more recent invention than that, but turns out it wasn't. It was 1891 was the first one, and that's this one right here. Here's a picture of the one that I have that's only a couple years old. This original tea kettle had copper inserts inside of it, and the copper itself was separated from the water. So it didn't do a great job of heating the water, but it heated it in about, like, I think my research said like 12 minutes or something like that, as opposed to this one, which heats it in about 5 minutes. So your assignment is to find something in your house, research its advancement and the history of that item. You can choose whatever you want. It can be as simple as an ink pen or as complex as your car, but it should be something that you can operate and understand how it works. Choose something that you'd like to learn about. You're going to do a little bit of research and write a paper for me. It should be something that you believe has undergone some sort of technological advancement in, say, the past 50 or even 100 years. Your research. I want you to find at least 3 websites that you can reference that talk about the enhancements or the history of your particular product. Make sure you're writing your references in MLA format. Wikipedia does not count as one of the references. That's too easily editable by other sources, so it's not entirely a credible source. I'm sure you can find other websites. Reference them in MLA format. If you're not sure how to do that, there's a website right here, Scribbler. Will tell you how to reference something in MLA format. You can even put the information in, and it'll generate an MLA citation for you. 3 references of different websites in your paper. And I want you to turn in a paper about your chosen item and its history. It doesn't have to be long, doesn't have to be 10 pages. I'm looking for a page, maybe 2 pages. Put some pictures in it. Upload it to Canvas, or take a picture, or show me on my conference call, all different ways that you can turn these things in. But it does have to have 3 references in it. If you're not sure exactly how you want to write this thing or what information you should be putting in there, try to answer these questions. How does your product work? How does it work differently now than it did when it was first invented? How is its operation improved, or maybe not improved? Maybe you don't think it's improved. There's some questions that might help you. Use the internet and see my example up on Canvas. So the correct format, make sure you're using the correct format, using complete sentences, add pictures if you have them, reference the pictures, use MLA references for websites, and just make sure it's written well, because I'm going to be grading it on not only content, but also on how well it's written. And that's it. Good luck.